Lost and finding herself, Ella stumbled upon Ed's self. She was set apart, but she tried to find her heart. She took everything too seriously, yet she was always deliriously following Ed, following Jack. Her emotions were whack. She loved when Ed watched her, but he made her go burr. His name was Ed. His eyes were a deep red. He tried to hide from his past, but that would never last. He was so alone, placed in the wrong zone, until he saw her, the girl, who completely made his life whirl. He tried to resist the love, but what he did, it would never. Allie was her name. Her thirst she kept tamed. She was so old and so very cold. For her brother she cared, and everything she shared. She knew what would come, and everyone else looked dumb. There was very much in store of that. Then there came a boy with lots of hair, who for now always had clothes to wear. He soon developed feelings for Ella, who sadly loved another fella. Jack was angry with the so-called stud. He thought that he would drink her blood. He did everything to stop this love. She did have feelings for him, sort of. Jack stopped trying for now, and Ella didn't even have a cow. Ella was trying to find her path. Jack was trying to contain his wrath. Ed was trying to forget his past. Allie was trying to make this last. It was complicated. Their life was overrated. They were boys who shoved and girls who just wanted to be loved. They tried to find their fate, but in the end,
my mother drove me to the airport. With my father, I had to sort. Everyone was so cold. My life I had sold. I was surrounded, not well grounded. I was lost here, with a bit of fear. Always so stubborn, but Ed kept me covered. Jack tried to warn me, I, though, did not agree. The legend was told, the truth I'd uphold. Ed was surprised, for what I couldn't have surmised. I promised to love him, but he was too grim to give a second thought to the promise I bought. I grew on his family, though I made many an enemy. One sister gave me glares, while the other gave me pairs of shoes, of dresses, of pretty curly tresses. Allie was like my sister. She made me get blisters. The heels that she made me wear hurt my feet, no room for wear and tear. Jack was cute, but way too young. So I ignored his call every time he rung. Ed was worried. He thought I was in danger, but I knew that the changer didn't understand. I only cared for him. I wanted to keep my family dim. They couldn't know how close it had been. Death had touched me on the chin. My father was oblivious. I was vicious. How could I go to prom in this state? Ed had known, but he did not wait. To make a move, to cross the slate, to find a way to perfect the date. Now everything's changed. I love him, and it's unchanged. Forever will be my love untamed. You know my feelings, what I've proclaimed.
There were such dark secrets in my past, which to this day last. But I've tried to escape, leave alone the hate. I had a different family, with a normal sanity. But here's this fake one, from which I cannot run. But now I'm this creature, and I have all these features. I'm not human, and I must cool quick when I'm fuming. Humans are everywhere, but I dare not make a tear. I must resist the temptation and not ruin my reputation. And here I reside, where I try to hide. I've never had a love. I thought no one would ever be enough. Until I met her, she made me stir. Strawberries, the scent was in my dreams. She was all I needed, it seemed. She made it so hard to see the better half of me. I was so scared, life isn't fair. I was so fond, I knew this love would be so beyond everything I had hoped for, nothing I couldn't adore. Ella brought back a bright light, shining so bright. I couldn't fathom her birthing anthem, beating so loudly, my thirst so proudly. She knew my secret, I made her speak it. I asked her, what am I? Vampire, I thought she'd cry, but instead she said, someone in love. I sat still as a dove, I fell so hard. She tore me apart. I had to keep her safe, because it was too late.
I was just a 15-year-old guy who was kind of shy. I went to school with my boys. We had so many joys. Yet I still felt like I needed more. But what? I wasn't sure. Then an old childhood friend came back. I realized what it meant to lack. Ella was her name. She made me feel so lame. We talked about how we made mud pies. At the end, there were no lies. She looked cuter than ever. Wanting her was my true endeavor. She was 17 years old, which made me feel sort of cold. I felt a shiver. I wanted to be a giver. She soon seemed interested in the Cullen clan. I didn't get why she was acting like a crazed fan. I told her the story of the cold ones, and how they did not need guns. How they used their teeth to get to the skin, well, underneath. The bloodsuckers wanted that, which was under the fat. She seemed so intrigued, I just felt fatigued. Some times passed, and after that, what I found out next, I was aghast. Ella and Ed were inseparable. I was seriously unstoppable. I felt like punching a wall. Ella wouldn't even call. I just kept hearing that they were in love. Ed, I wanted to shove. The next time I saw her, she looked even prettier. It was at prom. I thought I saw Ed putting on some lip balm. I had to deliver a message. Ella truly was with a savage. I had to save Ella from this beastie. I was sent to remind Ed about the treaty. He told me he knew. I wasn't even sure if Ella had a clue. She truly seemed in love, but all I could do was ask for help from above. I wanted to scream and shout, but I had to.
They asked me what the future held, and I told them what it beheld. I loved Ed like a brother, but I had no true mother. I'd never been unsure in my life. My kindness was rife. I was always styled. My nails were always filed. I had many visions, and I said them with precision. I could predict lightning and anything that was frightening. I passed every test without being a pest. I was always supportive without being abortive. I loved my family and fixed all problems rapidly. I wanted them to be happy. My looks were never crappy. I cared for Ed more than anyone instead. He wanted to find love. I found someone he'd be proud of. I became best friends. With Ella I could lend clothes to wear, shoes to share. Ella needed so much advice. I was happy to suffice. My husband Jasper needed help. His hunger made him want to yelp. I stood by his side, but his thirst wouldn't subside. Ella's blood smells so good. He couldn't resist, though he should. He tried his best and came through, but he was still a bit blue. Me and Ella grew as friends, creating a bunch of new trends. Ella and Ed went to prom. They were so the bomb. I knew they'd be together, always and forever. No one could bet against me, even though it couldn't be. Forever was a long time to spend in misery. In the end, when all was said and done, everyone ended up with the one.